and Steve did actually go and see another movie.
Oh, yeah.
We did go and see another movie. And we are talking about Harry Potter's and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yeah.
Harry Potter Pwns.
Yeah. The first part, we dubbed Harry Potter Goes Camping. The second part, the Harry Potter Pwnfest. Is basically, that's what the entire movie is. Because you have nothing but action and, really a lot of tension. There's a lot of tension during the middle of it because of different things going on. But you get to see characters that had been like the last 3 or 4 movies just really hadn't had a whole lot of part. They were just there because they were part of the books. But you finally get to see some characters come into their own. I think Maggie Smith, who played McGonagall in this, got her chance to really shine.
Oh yeah, the fight scene with Snape, the duel.
Yeah.
That I was just like, go you old bag, go!
And Neville finally gets his moment in the spotlight.
Yeah, Neville. You know what? Neville Longbottom is a inspiration to chubby fat kids everywhere. Because when he started out in that movie,
I know he started in Sorcerer's Stone. He was just a little wimpy.
He was a little wimpy dunce.
Yeah, he was.
And then in this movie, Neville's a little badass. When he's at the bridge protecting it.
What do you want? Come on!
What you want? Huh? Yeah!
Like an entire army sitting on the other side.
And then the barrier comes down, and he's just got that, oh shit, look on his face.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It really is.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. The main thing I would say is I would give this movie a 4.75. I cannot give it 5 stars. And the reason I say that is because there are just a few little things that got left out of this movie that kind of killed it for me. And it didn't give me the full pleasure of seeing everything I had hoped for out of the movie. It's just... Yeah,
I've got to say that there was one thing. I will have to agree with you on that. Because even though I haven't read the full version of Deathly Hallows,
right,
I have read some of it, and there were certain things that I kind of wish I had read the entire book now, because
I can let you borrow it. I own it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably end up having to do that. But no, the whole history, you find out why Snape why he acted the way he did towards Harry.
Right.
He hated Harry because of the way that his father treated him, but he loved and cared for Harry.
I don't know if I would say he loved him.
Well, to a certain extent,
yeah.
he cared. Well, okay, maybe not to a certain, maybe not love, but he definitely cared for Harry.
Right.
Because he was the last thing of his mother, and every single time he looked at Harry, he saw Lily's eyes.
Right. Exactly.
And that was the biggest thing. And I actually read somewhere that during the filming of the first Harry Potter movie, J.K. Rowling actually went up to the guy who plays Snape, Alan Rickman, and told him a secret that nobody knew yet about Snape. And this was during the movie. This was during the filming.
Filming of Sorcerer's Stone.
This is during the first filming of the first movie. She hadn't written Deathly Hallows by then.
Oh yeah, well, that was long.
But she told Snape that there was a secret that that he needs to that he needs to put in his performance. They told Rickman that there was a certain thing that he needed to know to put so he could put it in his performance.
Oh, wow.
And actually, you learned that basically Snape has been protecting and looking out for Potter the entire time.
Yeah.
This entire time, he has, even though he doesn't like the little bastard.
Yeah, exactly. And you can even see that in the scenes in part 2 of Deathly Hallows, because you get to see a lot of the interaction throughout the years, even between Dumbledore and Snape, talking about Harry, the things that went on in that regard. I liked a couple of things that they added to the movie that weren't in the book. One especially being the scene where you see Snape cradling Lily's body, because originally in the book, Snape never went to Godric's Hollow after the Potters were killed. He never actually made the trip there, but they put it in the movie for him to have been the ones to find their bodies. And
that wasn't in the book?
It wasn't in the book. That was actually something added for the movie only, and I actually preferred it that way, seeing him cradling Lily's body while you see Harry in the back of the crib.
Yeah, JK, when you do the special edition version of Harry Potter and you write it in there, put that scene in there.
There were a couple of different things that I thought could have been done a little better.
Like what?
One was the fact that you didn't get to see some of the main characters that they talked about in the book die off. You didn't get to see it. You got to see the after effects.
Oh, so you wanted to see George.
I would have preferred to see, I would have preferred to have seen George die. I would have preferred to, the scene where it was, I would have preferred that they would have brought out the whole story about Percy and what happened with him and the Weasleys.
Oh yeah, I never, like I said, I never read the last book, so I didn't know what happened to Percy. What happened to Percy?
Through the whole series of the books, Percy became a total prat. He basically became a total bitch.
I'm head boy!
He went from the whole I'm head boy part, even in that, he went to work for the Ministry.
Yeah, I remember seeing him in the one before Half-Blood Prince.
Order of the Phoenix,
and he's got Harry and Ron. And he's got that look on his face like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, he's working for the Ministry throughout that point, and he's totally, disowned from the Weasley clan. He actually turned in his parents. He turned in his dad one time for something to do with the Order. He was on the side of Umbridge during that whole thing. He basically was an outcast child. But then, at the end, right before George dies, Percy shows up to end the fight. And you see him in the movie. He's there.
And he's fighting on...
And he's fighting... You see him in the movie fighting with the Weasleys. But they don't explain it. In the books, he shows up and he's like, I was an idiot. I was stupid. I'm sorry. Please take me... please let me help. Everything else like that. And he has a whole, rekindling moment with the group. And it's right after that George dies. And you see him holding the body, and then Ron comes in.
Damn, I should have read the book.
They left all that out. Then you have the fact that a couple of groups, they did have the Giants to a point.
Because I was thinking about that during watching the movie, seeing the Giants.
Yeah.
Because I thought Hagrid
went and negotiated with them, but the majority of the Giants went on the side of Voldemort.
No, what happened to the Centaurs? I remember... Yeah,
see? The Centaurs in the book came to fight for Hogwarts. You don't see them at all. And
I do know about that whole... how they did the whole first kiss between Hermione and Ron. How it was that first kiss. Now, I do know that in the book their first kiss was... Ron, they're running through the castle during the Battle of Hogwarts, and Ron turns to Hermione and says, "We got to save the house elves. There's no one to defend them."
Yeah, exactly.
And she jumps over and kisses him, and
because this again, another thing that got left out of the movies, which is understandable, but Hermione a few years back had created a group for the
one of the subplots of the books that never really took.
Right, was to create a group for the treatings of house elves.
It was during the Goblet of Fire with those name patches. Everybody remembers the badges that said Potter stinks, right?
Right.
Well, Hermione did something similar to that in the books. I remember that.
Spew. That was what the group was. Yeah. And
Spew.
Yeah. So basically, he says, we got to save the house elves. It was right outside of the room of requirement, right before they went in to get the tiara and the diadem. And basically, she drops everything and jumps in his arms and kisses him. Now, the movie, they set it up to where, she kisses him in the Chamber of Secrets. Personally, I thought that was rushed. I thought they could have looked at each other a little bit longer or something, had the moment extended, whatever it took. It felt like, because all of a sudden you see the water thing come up, which wasn't in the book. See the water thing come up, fall down, and then they kiss, like instantly. And you're like, great. Like we didn't see that coming, kind of thing. And
yeah, it was definitely presented on a silver platter to us.
The thing I want to go back to the thing with the giants. In the book, the majority of the giants came to fight for Voldemort. However, do we remember Grop from the 5th movie, from Order of the Phoenix?
Yes, that was Hagrid's
half-brother. How he just disappeared off the face of the earth. You don't hear about him in Half-Blood Prince or Deathly Hallows. In the books, at Half-Blood Prince, he shows up at Dumbledore's funeral, which that entire scene got completely cut from any viewing.
Yeah, they decided to make a scene in which all the students raise their wands into the air and light up the sky and dissipate Voldemort's evil mark. Yeah.
The other thing was, Grop comes to fight against the giants that are coming into the castle. That got completely cut out. My one, and this is I thought Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 2, I loved the final fight scene. I loved the fact that they added the whole scene with Voldemort and Harry transferring, disapparating and welding together and coming back out. That was really cool, actually.
Yeah, that was.
And the final fight scene. There was one character in Harry Potter that never got introduced that I think would have made a total difference to the movies, made them funnier, had different parts in it, whatever. And I think a lot of people who know Harry Potter would agree with me on this. Peeves, the poltergeist.
Yes, the ghost of Hogwarts, right?
Yeah, basically.
I remember him from the books.
Yeah. Peeves, the poltergeist, always had different parts in the books where he was doing something. He was Filch's worst enemy. He was, had all these different things that he did every year, and he tormented the kids and everything else. But in the final book, in Deathly Hallows, McGonagall turns up, looks at Peeves, and goes, "Gather the ghosts. We have to protect Hogwarts." And for the first time ever that anybody could remember, Peeves listened to a teacher and turned around and went and got everybody together, and he basically led the charge of all these different creatures and everything else like that, and going straight at everything.
Now, when the spiders, were they there? Were they there as Voldemort's side?
Well, since Voldemort and them had gone into the Forbidden Forest. Uh-huh. They had ran the spiders out of the forest, the ones that were remaining from Aragog's group, and they basically were just, yeehaw, food, and they were running around trying to kill everything in sight. Basically.
Now, what was the... Now, I got a question, since you read the book, obviously. What was that whole part with the Resurrection Stone? Harry just drops it and...
There's so many different things that they didn't have time for in the movie. Even though they made it a two-parter, a lot of things got left out. The Resurrection Stone was the stone in the ring that Dumbledore found that was used as a Horcrux.
Okay.
And he wore the ring, got infected with that curse on his hand. That's what caused him to have that whole thing happen where he was going to die in a year or whatever. But the Resurrection Stone, when he knew he had found it and realized what it was, he encased it in the snitch for Harry to find later, knowing that it would help him. Because he knew that he was going to have to face Voldemort and die.
Okay, but why did he just drop it? And
It was in the books that...
I mean, he destroyed the frickin' Elder Wand, for crying out loud.
Which wasn't in the book.
That wasn't in the book?
Nope.
Thank God.
Nope.
Did he keep it?
Nope. He put it back in Dumbledore's tomb. In the book, he just...
Why couldn't they have kept...
Yeah, I know, right? It made no sense. The whole part with him snapping the Elder Wand. So here's my question. The whole time when he did that, the first thing I thought to myself when I saw it was, really? So is he just going to use Draco's wand the rest of his life? Is that how it's going to work? Because I'm pretty sure he'd go back. I'm pretty sure by the time, you see the whole epilogue 19 years later, I'm pretty sure he could have gone to Ollivander's by then and gotten another wand. However, in the book, what he does is he uses the Elder Wand, which of course responds to him, to fix his original one. The Phoenix and Holly Feather. No, Holly and Phoenix Feather. I knew what I meant. And he uses the Elder Wand to fix it and repairs it after it was snapped. And then he puts the Elder Wand back in Dumbledore's tomb. The whole thing with the Resurrection Stone, he used it, and what you don't see in the movie is that all of his loved ones were around him all the way up to that where he was fighting Voldemort. He just couldn't see them. In the movie, you see Harry just walk up, and face him. At the moment that he's hit by the curse is when he dropped the stone. However, whatever reason, in the movie, they just had him drop it before he walked up there.
So, by dropping it, it would resurrect him?
No. By dropping it, he lost it. When he went up to Voldemort hit him with the Avada Kedavra curse. He dropped the stone. Please tell me
in the book he didn't set his invisibility cloak on fire.
No, in the book, they don't have the scene on the bridge. They don't go out to the bridge and do the holding of the wand and everything else like that. They go back up to Dumbledore's study, to the study of the headmaster, and they talk to Dumbledore's portrait.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, he walks back up there. To get away from everybody, he puts the cloak on and walks away, and Harry and Ron and Hermione follow him. And they go up to the top, and he's talking to the portrait, and he says, "The Elder Wand is in my possession. I'm going to put it back into your into the tomb with you. That way, if I never use it, then when I die, it will never be owned by anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else ever, and the curse will end. Do you agree?" Portrait says yes. He goes, "I lost the stone in the forest. I don't know where it lays. I'm not going to look for it. Do you agree?" Dumbledore says, "Yes, my boy." He goes, "The cloak was given to me. It was part of my family line. I'm going to keep it. Do you think that's wise? It's yours to do with as you wish."
Okay, good. He didn't set it on fire.
So,
there was stuff that the long butt of it is the fact that they put a lot of time and effort into this movie, but there was certain stuff that they should have kept in the movie. Certain aspects.
This could have even been. My thought process was, okay, you're going to make a 2-part movie. Don't make it 2 hours apiece. Make it 3.5 to 4 hours apiece. Make it a huge thing. Make it like, you sit there for 3 hours.
Make it like 2 Bravehearts.
2 Bravehearts. Yeah, exactly. Make it huge.
Make it like 2 hours, 50 minutes of...
Yeah, even just 3 hours instead of 2. Make it 3 hours instead of 2. That gives you 2 extra hours to fill in the stuff that you didn't have a chance for before. Now,
something to think about for the special edition, Hollywood.
No kidding. I mean, that would be perfect. And with the talk now that Harry Potter is going to follow the same role as Star Wars is and re-release all their movies over the years in 3D, there's no reason why they can't pull something out of the fire, because it's not like anybody's going to stop watching Harry Potter. I think
Harry Potter is going to be one of those movie series like Star Wars, and it's never going to go away.
No.
Look at it this way. 50 years from now, someone's going to remake Harry Potter.
That's a scary thought.